Hello guys and welcome back to my channel, or for the first time, who knows, probably for the first time. I'm not that big. Today there's another budget deck profile. It's the extra deck Monarchs. I already have one on my channel that is more focused on Zark and Zaborg the Mega Monarch and those kind of combos. So if you want to check that out, do that. But that's a real life deck profile because I've actually played in this deck for quite a while. This time I decided to put stuff like the Cyber Dragon and the Shadow engine in. If you're not a big fan of the Shadow engine, I use it quite frequently on my channel. It's one of my two things that I really enjoy. But this time actually as synergy, I'm not just splashing it in because I like going second. Then there's a different one. You can use Mobilize, Engage, Afterburner, or Widow Anchor, and the Hornet Drones for having double tribute fodder, for interacting with the opponent, maybe getting rid of some of his cards. That is that, plus added consistency due to the Engage, possibly. I mean, you have a few spell cards, but if you get into the end before you use it, not 100% sure. But yeah, that is the other option that you have with this deck. Let's start off. I'm saying this right now. Price wise, this deck's probably around like 35 to 80 bucks, depending really on what extra deck choices you make. But I guess that is up to you on your budget, what you want to do. But the main deck is fairly cheap in my opinion, so you shouldn't have any problems with this, since Zavok even got a reprint. I think Beast got a reprint. So there is a lot of things that are cheaper as of now. What we're doing with this deck, we're going second. What a surprise with the Shadow engine and the Cyber Dragon engine here. You could make it a go first variant, but it's not as strong in my opinion, because you kind of need the 6th card. It's hard to break boards. Playing this go second without hand traps though, it's not easy. It's not going to be a super competitive one. It's more going to be like, oh, you don't want to play Domain Monarchs because they're not super consistent and you don't have fun playing this. That's why I looked up extra deck Monarchs, and there we go. Triple Erebus works pretty well with Shadow Fusion as well, because if you send it to the graveyard, you can recycle it by dumping a card, Monarch spell trap from your hand to the graveyard. So there's that synergy. Chaos, getting rid of your opponent's monsters, can hurt some decks, pretty much like Dark Magician, if that ever comes up. Zaborg, basically ruining your opponent's extra deck, isn't as strong if you don't prepare your extra deck for being milled as well. Having like searchers then on pops and all those kind of things. So you could cut this card for test. I'll also play any other Mega Monarch if you want to. Double Ether. If you ever want to, you could probably, I think the effect states that it doesn't have to be Monarch monster, just the Monarchy stats, but it just says 2,400 or more attack. So technically, I think you should be able to special summon this card, which is pretty neat. You could do this during your opponent's turn, but since your opponent, if he's playing floodgatey decks and wants to set a lot of things, yeah, I guess has to go first anyway, so this doesn't come up too much. And with Ether being back up to 2, that might be a relevant combo though. Also, this is your instant rank 8 basically, because, well, that summons another monster. It's beat down you a little bit, pumps up your attack points on the field by a lot. Just getting out a free monster. Kuras, being able to pop your Return of the Monarchs, always pretty neat, because that card keeps you from special summoning from the extra deck. That's why I only run it at 2. If you want to run it at 3, run it at 1, but if you want to run it at 2 or 3, then there's probably cards that you can swap out for this. Not quite sure if Second Coming of the Monarchs and Strike of the Monarchs are that good, but like, since you can search a lot of cards, been having cards that are somewhat situational, I like that, but you don't have to do it. I just felt like if you can't get rid of this card, then that stops a lot of your plays just for a simple search when you tribute summon, so I felt that wasn't that great. Kuras can also pop your Symphonic Warrior engine if you happen to brick with this card, or you have too many of those. Put them in your spell trap card zone, pop them with Kuras, get a double draw. Still helps you recycle a little bit through the deck. Symphonic Warrior Mike's is quite neat, because even if you draw into it, you can still normal summon it, like tribute summon it, and then you get another normal summon, and you can use one monster as a tribute if you use a tribute summon monster, which this will be then. So that helps you get into those as well with just one monster on board. Could be neat, could be neat. Shadow Beast is a simple draw. Guess that's always good in a deck where you're kind of struggling for consistency. Cyber Dragon helps you with getting up Pleiades with the trap card, helps you getting into other rank 5. If they would be a little bit better, this deck would be a little bit better, but since they're not, Cyber Dragon Infinity is also a thing that you can make with Instant Fusion and the Symphonic Warrior engine, so you have this kind of combo going on, plus breaking your opponent's board with the Mega Fleet Dragon. This card helps as well, or being tribute fodder if you're having the domain on board, or if you just want to summon Kurats, then that is possible too, since it special summons itself. Dragon, pop in a card is quite neat. You could go for Falco, I guess. You then possibly get something else out. So this could be a possible option as well. If you want to save some money, I think Falco is cheaper as well. So there is that. This card special summons either a tuner monster, which helps you go into Black Rose Dragon because of this card, and this card having access to a lot of level 5 monsters. You could go for level 3 if you want to have access to level 8 synchro monsters, but I decided to say Black Rose Dragon going second is quite a neat card. Other than that, yeah, this card can help you from time to time, trigger the effect of Yugioh, getting your Prime Monarch into the graveyard. Possibly could be getting Pantheism into the graveyard if you don't have a spell trap card that cycles with this card. So there is that. Double Ados, it's a pretty good card. Could run it at 3, but you're more focused on other kind of variants to summon, so this isn't super important, but helps you with the Mike's combo, for example, and there's a lot of stuff. But you always have to make sure special summon those or use those last, because then for the rest of this turn, you cannot special summon from the extra deck. So if you use them, make sure you do it at the end. Already explained this card. And that helps you recycling banished cards, which you will try to do quite a lot with Prime Monarch. You might have to bump up the count of Monarch spell traps at one point, because this deck is still in testing. I just came up with it basically a few minutes ago. So you have more fodder for this card. In general, that helps you recycle, for example, the Pantheism, getting you tribute fodder out and maybe stall a little bit. That's also a possibility. But also same thing here for the rest of this turn. Have to watch out with that and the extra deck. Instant Fusion, I feel like breaking boards with cards like Panzer Dragon and Thousand Eyes Restrict is quite neat. Getting level 5 out, going to Pleiades or Cyber Dragon Nova with Panzer Dragon, quite neat. Getting you basically a free tribute fodder as well, so that also synergizes quite well. Could even go for El Shaddai Winda, but you have no way to actually like save it. But if you draw into like a Shaddai Fusion and your opponent doesn't have a monster from his extra deck, technically that works as well. So that adds 3 Shaddai monsters to your field, possibly to like your deck count if you break with this card somehow. Pantheism, very good draw spell. Not always getting it off, but it helps you searching and drawing into everything, as well as this card. Very good searcher. That's why I can't afford to run a lot of cards at 1, because you can actually search them with this card pretty well. Triple Shaddai Fusion, already explained this. This has a lot of synergy because it supports rank 8s, supports rank 5s. What's there to say? You can get Yugioh into the graveyard with this card, so you could possibly trigger her effect like this, and get Winda into the graveyard, which has synergy with cards like Erebus, for example, and technically Eidos as well, if you have another one in the graveyard. There's that. It's not as easy. One strike of the Monarchs, if you can search this and disrupt your opponent once you like try to already destroy a field and have another Monarch on board, being able to draw a card and negate the effects. If your opponent is quite down already, then that card can be quite neat, but I see how this card wouldn't be the optimal choice. But you just have to tribute 1 face-up level 5 or higher normal summon monster, so that would come in handy for Mike's as well. Technically, you can tribute summon Shadow Beast and Dragon as well, just saying. Not that you want to, but you could. Monarch Stormflood is a questionable card because it's actually good, but it locks you completely out of your extra deck for the whole turn, not for the rest of this turn. So be very cautious when you want to activate this card. Return of the Monarch, same thing, but you can get rid of this card with stuff like Kuraz, so not as much of a problem, but still risky. Second Coming of the Monarchs helps you as well with rank 8s. Could try and put a rank 6 in here because they're actually significantly better than rank 5s, but don't think you're going to use this that often. If you want to cut a card, then probably cut this card. Didn't come up for me as much, but since you can get either this card and this card into the graveyard with Shadow Fusion, I felt like, why not include this card? There must be some use for this. Yeah, we'll see about that, right? But also gives you tribute fodder then technically if you send one to the graveyard and so on. Domain of the True Monarchs, the strongest effect of this card is disabled in this deck because you have an extra deck, but getting this attack point boost and also being able to make your monsters only need 1 tribute can be specifically nice. So I feel like running this card at least at 1 is pretty solid in this deck. And double Prime Monarch, there's a lot of ways with Erebus and Ether to get this into the graveyard, so there's that. And being able to get Pleiades out, being able to go into Zinmayo or Armageddon can help you from time to time as well. Plus you can use this to summon Black Rose Dragon with the tuner, so there's a lot of different options that you actually have. Chimera Tech with the Cyber Dragon, then with the Shadow Fusion, Instant Fusion targets, Bullet Wipe, the whole rank 8 engine with those popping 2 cards, possibly stealing a card. Spell Negate if you want to, protection from battle, I guess. Cyber Dragon Infinity Negate plus sucking up a card of your opponent can be quite strong as well. Back row removal, that comes up quite a lot actually. Keeper of Armageddon, basically popping a card, not the best. If you want to swap in any other rank 5, that's fine. One Pleiades, very strong card, double pushing back stuff to your opponent's hand. This can come in quite handy. So there is the deck profile. There's cards like Raigeki that you could use to like break Borth, or like Dark Hole if you want to keep it a little bit cheaper. But other than this, I feel like this is a solid profile with some bricky problems. It's still Monarchs. It's still runs the Shadow engine and the Symphonic Warrior engine. So if you draw your Garnets, well, unlucky you. You could keep this down with running stuff like the Sky Striker engine if you wanted to. But overall, I feel like this deck is gimmicky, but it's solid. It does things. Not always. Sometimes you can win games with it. Wouldn't go to a YCS with this. But at locals, I think you can have fun with this deck. That's all I'm saying. Hope you enjoyed this profile. If you like budget decks, if you like gimmicky decks, subscribe to my channel. There's a lot more up my sleeve that I have. I'm working on a gear, whatever, you know, those little gear things that are not ancient, like the good ancient gears. So stay tuned for this if you're interested in this. And like, subscribe. Hope you're having a good day. Goodbye.